All right, next up in the Jason Statham marathon. It's no longer a weekend. I'm gonna spread it out a little bit, but I'm gonna do as much as I can this weekend. We have Crank from 2006, and I remember. Oh, I remember the trailers for this, man. That hook. My name is it him walking through the streets, and he goes, "My name is Chip Chilios, and today is the day that I die." So, yeah, that was like, what? So the story here is that Chip Chilios is a hitman for this mob or whatever, this Hispanic mob, and after completing his latest job, Ricky Verona has now working together with Chev's boss, uh, and they give him the Beijing cocktail, as it's called. And what it does is it slows down your heart to the point where you're going to die. The only way to counteract this is to put as much adrenaline into your system as you can. And that's the hook. It's a gimmick film. That's the hook, though, is he has to go around doing as much as he can to keep his heart pumping. To do energy drinks, cocaine, pills, epinephrine, adrenaline, just stuff to, keep him going, and public sex with his woman, and just, yeah. All while he's trying to find a cure for it this entire time. And this movie, from start to beginning, is a thrill ride. Just before I get into those spoiler stuff, just a forewarning. If you're going to watch this film, prepare for a trip. Because it's like you're tripping. Like, I like to see somebody get high and watch this movie. Because that would be like, smoke a bowl and be like, whoa, man. Just be like, because that would be something. Just dropped it. So yeah, he's trying to track down Verona. He has help from, at first, a character played by Efren Ramirez, you may know as Pedro from Napoleon Dynamite. Was also, but I know him better as Jorge from Employee of the Month. Yes, and he's in this a little bit. He dies. He's also in the second one, but it's a different character. Jose Pablo Cantillo plays Ricky Verona, the villain of this film. He's a fantastic villain, but I do like that. Like every time that Chev calls him, he's surprised because, like, one of the first times he calls him, he's like, "Is this Chelios? Is this Chelios? I thought you were fucking dead, dude." Like, he thinks he should be dead, but he keeps surviving. He robs a gas station. Puts he gets like energy drinks and shit. He shows up at Carlito, that's the mob boss's house, jumps into his pool, and tells him, "Oh, I need a cure." And he's like, "Oh, you got the Beijing cocktail, you got that Chinese shit. There's no cure for that," or whatever. And so he has to track down Verona. But the thing is, he has this cab driver that he has driving him around or whatever. He goes back in the cab, and the cab driver, who is, of course, of Arab descent, he's like, "You're not getting in my cup. You are not getting in my cup. You are wet. You are wet. You're not getting in my cup." He goes, "You're right. I'm not getting in your cab." And he grabs him, throws him out, and he yells out, "Al Qaeda! Al Qaeda!" And I was eating my lunch at that point, and I choked on it. I was like, he just... We were like, "Oh, I get him. Oh my God, I love Bush. I love Bush." I'm like, yeah, this is dated. 2006. So eventually he gets to his girlfriend's house, right? Played by Amy Smart. And he tries to tell her what's going on. She's in her underwear. She's getting ready to smoke a bowl. And he's like, we gotta go. We gotta go out of here. She's like, "Can you, fix my microwave?" He's like, "Microwave?" "Yeah, the thing on the microwave, the clock's all wrong." The microwave. fucking microlife. It's like he's trying to tell her. So he does tell her what's going on. She doesn't believe him, and he's like, he's starting to shut down. He's like, make love to me right here in front of a bunch of people. She's like, what? No. He's like, come on, and like he falls down. She gets on top of him because he's failing. She's like, oh, you really are out of it. And so he's like grabs her titty. She's like, no, no, and then they start going at it. She gets into it. Is that technically rape if it starts off as no? But then she's like, I mean, you see in some pornos where they like, no, no, and then they get going, and then it's like, yeah, give it to me, and that's basically what she does. Give it to me right here, and she's like yelling at him, get it up, oh, I'm getting it up. It's just like, it's fun, and she's a smart woman, because it's like, they're in a car chase, and he's starting to slow down again. She's like, I don't know what'll keep your heart going. So she gives him a blowjob, right? And like, he's like, oh yeah, he's coming, and then she stops, and he's like, what are you doing? He's like, oh. She's like, oh, what, let you finish so that you can fall asleep like you always do? I don't think so. So then he gets pissed, and he knocks his car to the side, and he kills the dude inside. And I'm like, she's a smart woman. She keeps him going. Eventually, this leads to him facing Verona in a helicopter, where they both jump out of the helicopter. He breaks Verona's neck, and he's laying there. Last thing he does, he makes a phone call to his woman in one of those cheesy slide-up phones from the 2000s, and he makes this speech, and then he falls to his death, and that's where it ends, with his death. Well, I remember when I first watched this, I'm like, am I supposed to be surprised by that? Because the trailer said, my name is Chip Chelios. Today is the day that I die. Now, I was a little bit, because I had the second one in my hand too. I'm like, wait a minute. But I do know that they did an artificial heart thing with the second one. This movie was packed with cameos too. You had Dwight Yoakam playing Doc. Edie Cathey, I pronounced his name. The guy from Twilight movies, Le Fou, whatever his name is. He's like one of the cab drivers that he has. Chester Bennington, rest in peace, plays a dude in a pharmacy who tells him that you can get high off of nasal spray. There's epinephrine in it, I guess. Okay. And Glenn Howerton plays a doctor or a surgeon or something. I'm like, isn't that... There's a line where he's like, oh my God, don't kill me. I'm like... Now I'm sitting there looking at the TV, he goes, well, he could kill you, but he's not, because of the implication. Those of you who are Sunny in Philadelphia fans would get that, but he could kill you, but he's not, because of the implication. This is a thrill ride. I'm telling you, beginning to end, it's nonstop. These directors, Ned Verleen and Taylor, they just... And they do the second one. There's also a possibility of a third one, but they haven't done it yet. But this one is just... I actually forgot that he died at the end of this. So I was like, oh, that's right, he dies. I forgot. So it's interesting to see how the second one goes. But, I know they go a little bit harder in the second one because they need to be more... but the lengths that he goes to, like the scene with the cocaine, like he gets the cocaine from the guy, he's like, well, this shit ain't free. So he pays him, and he drops it to the floor, he breaks it open, he starts on the floor, it's like, damn! That's how much he needs the adrenaline pumping through his veins, man. He needs the, get it going, you know what I'm saying? Although, I do want to address this, because I feel like... So, I understand he's got to do all this adrenaline stuff to keep his heart pumping. But at what point is his heart just going to go, fuck it, and give up? Because I feel like, he's putting even if he survived the Chinese Beijing cocktail thing and they were able to get the, like, if they were able to reverse that, all the stress he's now put on his heart from all that stuff is going to make him go as soon as they fix it. So, yeah, I feel like either way he was dying. So I'm glad they did it the way that they did, with him finishing off Verona first, and then and that. By the way, I think it turns out that the guy he supposedly killed, the Chinese triad member dude, was still alive at the end. And I kind of laughed because it's the guy from Boy Meets World, from the episode where Corey asked what they're going to do for their college semester, for their curriculum. And he's the guy who goes, that guy, he's been in everything. He was in Men in Black 3, he was in this, he was in Woman's World. He's been in a lot of things, but he's never been like a major role, which is kind of funny. But yeah, it's kind of like, man, that's the guy. Just, yeah, this was fun. I'm going to give this 8 out of 10. It was a thrill ride from beginning to end, and I really enjoyed it. So, what are your thoughts on Crank? Let me know in the comments below. Make sure to like, share, and subscribe. Thank you for watching. I've been Scotty, and I'll see you in the next one. If you're wondering why I'm sitting in here and not there, I have it set up my Xbox, and it's a little loud, so I figured I'd do it over here. Right now, I have that set over there. Don't know what I'm going to do at night. I'll figure it out. But anyway, we'll see you. I know I still had that in my hand.